They showed a horrific video from Spain with young children in a parade. And our video editor here has done a job to just shield some of it, because these are little children, boys or girls, you can't tell, they're in wigs, obviously. They are dressed in, part of it is to look like skin with the little tape over the nipples that's done by or people who either have these surgeries or whatnot. And then they're in whatever, we used to call them hooker stockings or whatever. But these kids are being paraded down the street. Let's have a look at that. And so, Father, since you're in Spain, I thought maybe, can you give us some insight as to what in the world is going on?
Let me tell you two things that have happened to me in the last couple of weeks. We're talking about the lack of vocations to the priesthood. And the last 2 weeks, I have had 5 men call me, 2 priests ordained less than 5 years, and 3 young men, excellent, who want to become priests. The 2 priests were canceled, and the three are looking for a seminary decent to give their life to Christ that will teach them Catholic faith. So it's not that there are not seminaries and that there are not vocations. Another interesting thing happened. There was a beautiful family that came here for the weekend with me to visit. And they were getting ready to leave China for Madrid. They were going to move to Madrid. Until they got to Madrid, they came here and said, "We don't want our children living in this." It seemed to them to be no different than any other major city with the same problems: immodesty, drug abuse, everything all over, flaunting everything. This parade of these children is really sickening. It's really sickening. They're dressed. Some of them are boys, I suppose, and others are girls, but they're dressed like prostitutes and parading down the street. And people are standing on either side of the street. They're not wildly applauding, but nobody's outraged by the sight. Boy, that you talk about scraping the bottom of the barrel. That as far as immorality, I can't think of anything. That's about it. That's about the worst you can imagine. And that was done publicly, and everybody was all smiles. It was wonderful. See, there's something very sick happening, and this is Catholic Spain. Imagine in societies that haven't the faith at all.
Liz, if you can give us your take, you're an advocate, lawyer for abused children. What's your take on what's going on?
This is a logical extension. It's a pro-pedophilia rally. It's a logical extension of sexualizing children in the schools, with literature, with media. This is ultimately, the slippery slope that everybody said, "Oh, you're crazy." They'll never legitimize pedophilia. Well, all you have to do is look at this god-awful parade or rally. Interestingly, they had an LGBT flag that accompanied them. Now they have a flag that incorporates pedophilia. So there's, as every movement has its flag, right? Every movement has its flag, its motto. This is a world turned away from God, turns to Satan, the sexual exploitation of children. It's the darkest of the dark arts. How many times we've said gender ideology is about not only mutilating children in the womb, but if they're lucky enough to survive birth, it's the mutilization and exploitation of children outside the womb. And we're seeing this, if you go on the internet few clicks, you will find all of this available to anybody who's on the internet. So to see it on a public street is, especially jarring, but 2 clicks of the mouse and there you have it. And it's often very violent. It's often just hideous. But this is the reality of the world we live in. It's in our schools. That's why we have parents screaming from the rooftops that they're sexualizing their children. This is grooming at its worst.